years.
Well, hello everybody. Welcome to Gregg's Vintage Workshop, where I'm restoring history one piece at a time. Today we're going to be looking at part 5 of the 1933 Philco Model 54 radio that I've been working on for, well, probably approaching 2 years now. In part 4, I finished up the wiring and all of the innards of the radio, and we were hoping that it was going to work. And after I finished part 4, I had some issues with it. I put out a little call for, hey, anybody got some assistance? Ultimately, it was my own mistakes. In my wiring, I had like 3 major mistakes. So when I went back wire by wire by wire that I had caught. And this was after I had double, triple, quadruple checked everything and really thought I'd having mistakes, but boy, I guess I'm not as perfect as I thought I am. So that's what it was. Anyway, the last time I showed you, I had it running. It was running great. I've lined it. It's running just as great. And we will be finishing that up. But first we got to do part 5, which is the cabinet and the stripping and refinishing of it. Without further ado, let's get part 5 and we'll see what we got done. Okay everybody, so it's been a long time coming, a couple of years, but we're going to start on this cabinet. This is for the 54, the Philco 54. This one actually, you know, it doesn't look too awful horrible bad from the front, but I'm going to refinish the whole thing because it's got some various issues. It's got a crack right here. While you're seeing that, but there's a crack right here. The rest of this is in pretty good shape other than that crack. We got some separation right across here, the top from the side. You can also see that right here where that has come up. So let's take a look at this. So here's the back. That metal back that has to be on there in order to trip the safety switch that you've been seeing me with my clamp on holding closed. Decal's still on there and not in horrible shape. A Philco radio tag here. I don't have a way to reproduce that, but I'll try and protect it some. The back, it looks like it might clean up pretty good. If not, I've got some brown paint I think that'll match that pretty good. It needs to be repainted on the inside anyway, and that's pretty rusty here on the top, so that'll get cleaned up. We'll clean that up and paint that. Then this is the grill cloth. Kind of nasty, on a piece of, looks like they've got it glued to a piece of it's not really cardboard, it's almost about the texture of heavy construction paper. Now it did have, looks like a cardboard backing that is not complete. Looks like somebody else tore that apart at some point in time because this backing, I'm not sure how that backing is supposed to go. It almost looks like it should go something like this. If you guys are seeing that or not. Looks like it should go something like this. It's cardboard, but it's like a thick cardboard. That's probably 3/16 of an inch thick, a little more than 1/8. So I might have to try and remake that, but if I remake it, I'll make it out of wood, I think. I should be able to get a piece and then try and trace this. I think I can use this as a pattern to remake this, and then use that pattern to cut a piece of not a piece of cardboard, but a piece of wood of the proper thickness. And then I might be able to just flip this cloth around. The inner part of the grill cloth doesn't look that bad. I might be able to make that the outside. This piece, this side, make that the outside side. I don't know, I'll have to take a look, because I bet you I can't get that cloth. But I could take it off of here and glue it back on with that being the outside, and that might look pretty good. I don't know, take a look at it, but I think that's what I'm going to do, try and do something like that. So I'm going to have to remake this piece. I might not even have to remake this piece. I might reuse this piece and just remake that piece. So, alright. Now, looking at the inside, one thing we got to be careful of is that's asbestos on the bottom. I think what I'm going to do is probably spray it with some clear, soak it really good, and then that'll keep it from getting airborne fibers and stuff. Chunk missing on it right there, but I'm not too worried about that. I'm more worried about just making sure that it doesn't become airborne fibers. Well, there is a split here. There, I just noticed that. Right down the middle there's a split, right there. I saw it from the bottom. You can see it from the bottom. So I'll have to glue that. Well, I see a crack here. So we got some various cracks. Hopefully I can clamp and glue. See, it's got some missing feet. It's got some sort of a little tiny foot. I'll come up with something for that. I'm thinking maybe a piece of dowel glued in there with a felt pad might work just good and look about like normal. It looks like it was held together with some screws at one point in time. They're not in there any longer. Must have been wood screws. Anyway, I'm going to have to clean this up and get it screwed together. And it's really cold outside this week, but Thursday is supposed to be, today is Tuesday, and Thursday is supposed to be a high of 76, so I might get out to the garage and get this stripped with some lacquer thinner. So, meantime, I got to get these off. These may be reusable if I get them off without breaking them. Looks like they are tacked in place with some little brads. Well, that one's just barely in there anyway. It might just come off as it is. Just with my finger. Yep, look at that. So maybe I can clean those up and reuse them. I don't know. I know they make them reproduction, but I don't want to spend the money for it if I don't have to. Let's see if this one comes out that easy. I think it's gonna. Little bitty brads. It looks like two of those brads are missing on this side. And that top one doesn't want to come out, so I'll have to get something underneath it and pry it up. But then I'll get that out, and then we'll start seeing how I can make repairs to this. We'll come back. Okay, so I cleaned it all up with my Myers multi-surface cleaner, and I soaked the asbestos very heavily to make sure that no dust emitted from it, and then I cleaned the inside, and the rest of it actually, it got the dirt off of it anyway. It's not as bad as it was. There's obviously overspray here. I gotta get off. That'll all come off when I do the lacquer thinner cleaning of it. So I think what I'm gonna do is go ahead and glue this section here and clamp that down. I was looking at all the rest of it, actually, where I said that that was split. It technically is split, but it's supposed to be split. I don't know if you can see that or not, but that's two pieces joined together with joinery right there. and it's not loose, it's tight. I think I'll feed the glue down this one. I'll put a little down the inside edge there as well, and clamp it and call that a day. And then the rest of it's pretty solid. I think that the rest of it's going to be okay. Maybe right here, there's a pretty good gap right there. I might see if that'll pull together any. I don't know if it will or not. Yeah, okay. I'll glue that, and then in a day or two, when it's warmer outside, I'll take it out to the garage and I'll strip it down, and then I'll bring you guys back. Hi guys, I'm out here in my garage, which I don't get out here very often, but it's a mess. My bench is a mess, so excuse my bench. I'm going to strip this thing off using a combination. I like to use a combination of mineral spirits and lacquer thinner, that way it doesn't evaporate as quickly. What I've done previous to this was I went ahead and I glued the case. I also put 3 very thick coats of clear on this asbestos down here, so I don't think it's going anywhere. When I'm all done, I might go ahead and paint it black anyway, or not black, but brown. But today we're just stripping this. It's like 78 degrees outside, and tomorrow it's supposed to be back in the 40s, so I got basically one day out here to get this stripped. I'm not going to get it finished, but you know, get a finish on it, but I should be able to get it all stripped, and then I guess this spring I'll get back on it. So anyway, I'm going to zip through this pretty quickly. You can hear in the background I got a neighbor dog that's out there barking his head off, and I'll probably just play you guys some music while I do the stripping on this and zip through it. So let's get started. I do wear a paint respirator when I'm out here working with this. Got some 4/0 steel wool. And I hope you guys can hear me with wearing this mask. Alright, so that's kind of the way the front looks right now. I like the looks of this radio. I've been a big fan. I think this one might just have to stay with me. When I started this project, I started it to go to my daughter, but then when I stopped, I got started on that mantola that I ultimately gave to her. I can't see what I'm doing, but I'm working on the side here, getting down those cracks. And so since she has the mantola, I might just have to keep this one for myself. Well, that's just all lightening up as that finish comes off. Alright, that's all I'm going to make you guys watch. I'll bring you back when I get the rest of it done. Well, here we are back down in the workshop with the 1933 Philco 54 cabinet. This was after I stripped it. It's all stripped. What I have done since I brought it down here, I don't know if you guys remembered, but right here on the top it was broken basically, and this side was quite a bit higher, probably about a 3/16 of an inch higher than this side. So since I had it all stripped, I went ahead and glued and clamped that back. And that was Thursday. Thursday I did that. So anyway, let me get you on a tripod and we'll get these clamps off and take a closer look at the cabinet. Okay, let's go and pull these clamps off. And there we go. And we'll take a look here. So it's actually stripped pretty nice, not bad. I've got to go back and just do a quick sand on the front here and in the sides. I've got a split in the wood right here, but it's not going to pull together. I know it won't. So I'm going to fill that split. I'll go ahead and sand in between the vertical portions here. Just some basic touch-up sanding on it. Do a quick sand on the top. This is that split I was talking about right here. But this is so much nicer than what it was, because this was literally broken and this was up. I also ran glue down in here, inside here. While this was up, I spread that with my screwdriver and filled that up some. This will all wipe out. This is remnants of the finish and stuff that occurred when I used the lacquer thinner on it. I'll clean that all up. This is all, I'm going to paint this inside of this all brown when I paint it. There's the bottom and that side. So I mean, it stripped up pretty good. I don't know what the finish was on here. It wasn't the original finish. Somebody had done something to it, because the lacquer thinner didn't really attack it the way it will normal lacquer thinner. So, but it cleaned up pretty good. So really all I gotta do is some light surface sanding on it, and then it'll be ready for me to put some sanding sealer on it and then determine how I want to ultimately finish it. I've looked at some photos online. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. The wood finish itself is not that great on it that it would not. I got to do something with it. That's what I'm trying to say. I'll do something with it. So I'll figure that out. But let me get one of these front screws I want to ask you guys about, because two of them are missing. I only have one, and let me get that. Okay, so there's 3 screws that go in the case. One here, one here, and one here. Actually, it looks like 4 screws. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 screws. There's only one in the radio. I don't know how well you guys can see this. I'm not sure how well the ZE1 is bringing that in focus. But it's a decorative screw. It looks like it's got 4 flats on it. Not sure where I get that at, but I'm going to have to find some. I need 3 of them. I do have the original radio knobs that came on it. They were on it. They need to be cleaned up, but I think they'll be fine. So I got those, and that's the dial pointer for it. I think. I think it is. I found it in a bag that said 54 on it. It's 54C, so I'm assuming that's it. So I got that, but the other thing I've got now is some parts I'd already showed you. So these cleaned up pretty nice. These back plates for behind these bezels. The film. I don't know what they're called. I'm having a blank. Anyway, this one turned out pretty good. This one cleaned up really nice. I used mineral spirits on it because I've read that if you use water and stuff like that, it'll take the numbers off, but mineral spirits won't. So I used mineral spirits, and it actually cleaned up pretty nice. This one, the volume, depending upon the way you hold it in the light, it's okay. But when you get it like that, I tried shooting some satin clear coat on it just to see if it would make it better. It made it worse. So, you know, I don't know. Maybe with light behind it, I don't know how it's going to look. I mean, I could use the original. I don't know. I think I'm going to have to go online. I know they reproduce these. I might buy reproductions for it. This one had a split and it was like torn up and shaped up. I put some heat on it and got it to go flatten back down. I put a little dab of super glue on it, and I think it'll be fine. But so I haven't decided if I'm going to reuse these or buy new. Kind of depends on how much they are. If they're not bad expensive, I might get a couple. This one may be okay. I think that this one would work fine. This one not so much. And again, depending upon how you hold it in the light, it's not bad. I don't know, maybe I'm better off to use it because it's the original. You guys let me know what you think. There's not much else to do other than to finish doing a little surface sand on that. Oh, I still got to clean up the back. I still got to make this piece. I got to figure out how I'm going to do that. I might try and take a picture of those decals and see if I can print them and maybe put new ones back on there after I paint this. But I really can't paint this stuff because it's too cold outside and it's not going to warm up 9 chances out of 10 before spring. So I think I'm going to save that other piece, the back part and the speaker cover piece, for next spring. I'm going to go ahead and finish putting a little surface sand on this so it's ready to go for sanding sealer in the spring. And that way, if something happens and I do get a super nice day between now and next spring, then I can go ahead and put the finish on this. So I'm going to conclude this part regarding the cabinet with where I'm at right now, and I'll do the final episode probably after the first of the year in the spring. I mean, geez, this thing, I've been working on it for a year and a half anyway, right? What's another 4 months? So we'll get this thing in the final episode. I'll give you guys a little bit of the view of me shooting the various toners and clear coat on it and getting it put back together again and get the speaker cover turned around. I think I am going to just use this original grill cloth in there. From the back side it looks really good. Front side, not so much. Back side doesn't look bad at all. So I'm going to go ahead and reuse that. But one other thing that I do need, that I'm hoping all my viewers might know where I can get one, or maybe somebody has one they'll sell me, is the radio is supposed to have 2 tube shields, and it only came with one on it. This is what it looks like. I mean, obviously it doesn't need to be identical to this. It would be nice if it was the correct one, but as long as it's a tube shield that will fit properly, it would work. So I need to clean this one up and get it on the radio, but I need a second one too. Let me get some measurements for you. Alright, so overall it looks to be about 1 5/8, 4 inches tall. So it's about 4 inches tall. I guess it'd help if I could hold it where you guys could see the tape measure better, but it looks like it's about almost 1 5/8. Not quite 1 5/8, depending upon how I hold that tape measure. Now if I push that together like that, it is 1 5/8. So I'm going to say it's 1 5/8 in diameter. So 1 5/8 in diameter by 4 inches tall. That's what I need. So if anybody has a lead on one, let me know. For now, we'll go ahead and call this episode complete. If you're not a subscriber and you've liked what you've seen, I hope you'll subscribe to my channel. If you are a subscriber, thank you for sticking it out with me, especially on this 54. It's been going on for a while. And thank you for watching Gregg's Vintage Workshop, where I'm restoring history one piece at a time.